So one thing that I want to do, and today's September 16th, so I will make it so that it's a wide range. So for the entire month of October, if any of your listeners place an order, if they can message me. You can direct message me. I will also share my email and my phone number. But if they message me and let me know that they have actually listened to your podcast or your YouTube channel and they went through all of this, then I would like to do a drawing for your listeners. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's so
So
cool. Thank you.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, October 1st through October 31st. Again, it can be, an email with some feedback if you'd like, a text message, just anything that you have, just to know that, you viewed this platform. And hopefully that it did something for you. And so we will put all of those names into a drawing, and I will do a drawing at the end of the month. And maybe you and I can go live for that drawing.
Oh, yes. Yes, let's do that. Hello, and welcome to Life Hacks with Liv. I'm Olivia, and on this channel, I share adulting life hacks in the areas of health, wealth, and happiness. And we're diving into the happiness, sexual happiness, and the stigma around that sexual happiness that we encounter as women. My guest today is a 35-year-old Christian woman, graduate from Alabama, and recently married. She loves the LA Lakers and Alabama football. And on top of that, she is a senior consultant for Ernst & Young and an independent Bedroom Kandi consultant. I would love to welcome my guest, Toya McGhee.
Hello, how are you? Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited. Amazing intro. Thank you. That made me kind of toot my own horn there for a moment. But yeah, so much to talk about today. I definitely want to share education, want to have some fun, and want to just kind of normalize some things that we have been afraid of for so many years, some things that we still don't talk about even in our adult years. And just kind of really give the listeners and the viewers a realistic expectation of how we need to approach these conversations, how we need to go about normalizing settings in our relationships with our partners, and then myself being an outlet to those people for any intimate questions that they may have or ways that I may be able to step in and help on their journey.
That is awesome. And I know that you're an outlet via social media. You have a Facebook group that the viewers can join. And that's Toya's exclusive, what is it? Toya's exclusive?
It's Toya's exclusive Bedroom Kandi party. It is by invite only. However, I definitely want to build a community. I just want to make sure that it's a safe space for all of the members, making sure that people know that they can come. I post all the time. I do a lot of promotions there. And one of the things that I really want to do is create that sense of intimacy, which is why it's a closed group. Because I think when you just have 600 or 700 people in a group, sometimes you get lost, information gets lost, and now it's more for likes, whereas this really needs to be something that's for information, education, and support in this community.
I love that this is something that you do because sex is such a taboo topic, especially for females in 2020. And that's honestly embarrassing that it's that way. Why do you think that it's such a stigma from your point of view?
So let's take growing up, and regardless of your geographic location, regardless of, how many siblings you had, single parent household, married household, it doesn't matter. But with my own experience, sex was not something that we just went around our house and talked about. It is a very hush-hush subject, so to speak. If you grew up in any type of religion, most of the time you knew the only thing that you were taught was, sex before marriage is a sin. So it was almost like if you had questions, if you were interested, you were scared to go to your parents because question almost admits to you doing something, even if you weren't. Like, so just simply saying, Mom or Dad, I have a question about sex, typically the answer is going to be, you don't need to be doing that. You don't know what you're doing. You're not grown. You need to wait until you're married. So when you think about how a lot of us were raised and maybe what some of those conversations look like, those things stick with you as you grow. And once you get into your adulthood, you still have some of that secrecy about sex within you. And what it starts with is secrecy from parents that turns into secrecy with partners. So now you're not being open and honest with your partner about your sexual needs, your sexual desires, even your emotions that are connected to sex because of what has happened when you were growing up. 12, 13, 14, you're hitting puberty, and the parents are protecting you from what you could consider the unknown, but they're not educating you. So I feel like it's a different outlet now for us to understand the need to be protected, the need to be safe, but also the need to be educated.
Absolutely. And on a side note, see, I grew up and my parents are like hippies. Okay. And my mother, they were very open about what sex was and all of this, but I still felt extremely uncomfortable. Like I was still like, oh, and the whole masturbation thing, it's not something that I ever talked about with anybody. And at 28 years old, it's still something that I don't have an issue talking about now. But like in my early 20s, oh yeah, no, I would not talk about that because, it's bad. We shouldn't do it. We never talk about sex in a positive light. It is always seen as a bad thing, but it's a natural thing. And as far as, they tell you not to have sex before marriage, but they don't tell you why. I heard something the other day and it struck a chord. It was like, they said, they don't tell you that you're attached emotionally to those people and that you're going to continue to think about those people as you go on in life. And, you want experience. You can get that experience with yourself.
Right. And I'm so glad that you call that out, because that is something that from a spiritual aspect that I learned. And one of the sermon series that I watched earlier in the year spoke specifically to soul ties with your partners. And so I say again, you have these conversations with your parents or with your guardians that speak to the protection piece as not doing it and, the reason why you shouldn't do it. But there's such a huge miss with the reality that there's something that's emotionally attached to sex that we need to talk to people about. So maybe if you're sitting down and you're telling Sarah that Johnny may not be the guy that she's going to spend the rest of her life with, you also need to speak about soul ties and being emotionally connected to that person. And the fact that for me, and I know for many other women, the emotional attachment for women is usually a lot larger than it is for men. And so women stay attached far after the situation is over and done. And men are kind of like, okay, check that off my box, next. So I couldn't agree with you more that that's a conversation that needs to take place about the emotional connection as well.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. And so tell me about a few of the things that you talk about with the people in your group and, what you offer on your website and on your Instagram.
Okay. So one of the first things that I like to express is that, again, it's a judgment-free zone. Everybody's at a different place in their sexual routines. Everyone's at a different place with their level of sexual education. So you have to be open to learn. And you also have to be open and honest if you're going to start those conversations. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm expecting people to pick up the phone, text, email, direct message me and say, okay, let me tell you, I did XYZ and then he did XYZ and this is what happened. But honest questions, hey, this is something that I'm experiencing. This is something that I've been dealing with that has a negative impact on my sexual health and my sexual life. And do you have products that could help me? Our website has an abundance of products. So we have, of course, the Bedroom Kandi line. People think Bedroom Kandi is all sex toys, and it's not. So we definitely need to clear that stigma. So Bedroom Kandi, of course, we have your toys, we have your vibrators, we have your soft lines of products, your Bath and Body. A lot of people don't know that we have whipped body butters. We have body washes. We have skin lighteners that you may want to use in some of your more personal areas if you're dealing with hyperpigmentation. The hairline that we have, it includes a shampoo, a conditioner, a leave-in conditioner, as well as a styling elixir for shine to reduce frizz. There's the candy-coated side of Bedroom Kandi that is all cosmetics. Face, lips, eyes. We have a men's line, so you can pamper your male, everything from beard oil to body wash for your male, a moisturizer for him. So when you think of Bedroom Kandi, people automatically put you in the bedroom box, and we definitely have pre-bedroom and during bedroom and
Hey,
after.
you've got the whole Valentine's Day. Like,
We have everything. So a lot of times on my social media sites, you will see me promoting, Wellness Wednesday is something that I like to call, Wednesday shout out. So I may talk about body care. On a Man Crush Monday, it may be highlighting some of the male products that we have. So a lot of my social media, again, is really meant to influence and educate. Whereas the website is there for you to go check availability, place your orders. Another thing to call out with the website, so this is a huge market and where confidentiality is important. And I know a lot of people, for instance, on my social media sites, I can make a post. I may have 30 views, but only 15 likes. My social media, again, is not for the likes, the loves. I don't even care as much about the comments. I would rather you DM me in a confident manner and saying, I have this question and I'm going to trust, her response to it, than for me to have 15 or 20 comments on a subject matter with people just going back and forth and not really feeling like they're getting an answer. So the social media site will list prices. I will list, any specials or promotions that are happening, but my website is really the outlet for you to go and make a purchase. And to the confidentiality piece, when you make a purchase on my website, I only see that you placed an order and the amount of your order. I don't see what you've actually ordered. And there have been customers where I have a relationship with them and I'll reach out and feel comfortable in saying, hey, thank you for supporting. Thank you for your business. A few things I'd like to ask. One, let me know when your product arrives. Because I don't see what my customers order, I also don't get tracking information. That information is sent directly to the customer when you order off of my website. And so when you get your order, I want to know that, because if you're having any issues, I want to make sure that I reach out to our corporate department and say, I have a customer, this is their name, this is the amount of their order, and leave the rest up to them to find that order. But one, again, I know tracking. Two, I like feedback. Tell me what you liked about your product. Tell me what you did not like about your product. Would you recommend this product to a friend? And a lot of times when you hear of someone not liking a product, the reality may not be the product. It may be the education behind the product. And so for me, owning this business, part of the responsibility that I have to my clients are to make sure that they understand how to properly use their products. If they're buying a toy, making sure that the lube that they're using with the toy isn't destroying the toy and they're not getting the full benefit, or making sure that they have cleaning supplies for their toys that we also provide that you can order off of the website. So the confidentiality is there. You don't have to worry about, oh my God, is she going to see that I'm ordering, this toy or this lube? I'm only going to know if you share that information with me. And even if I'm asking for feedback, you can be as broad in feedback as you want to. If you don't feel comfortable, even say, hey, I like it, I'm good, I don't want to share any more information.
I love it, because there's so many times I'll order something online And it doesn't even have to be that type of product. I've never ordered one of those products online, actually. But I'll order something online and I will have no idea how to use it. No idea whatsoever. And it doesn't come with the best instructions. So it's nice to
Right.
know that, even though, and I like the fact that, like, you wouldn't know what I ordered unless I told you, you know? So that type of, because a lot of people would have an issue with that. I
Right.
mean, even I had the biggest issue getting tampons or like pads at the store for the longest until recently, like,
Right. Where now you walk on out and you're like, yeah, I need that. And before it was like,
yeah, it was like, oh man, I don't want people to know. And I'm like, okay, you got to get over it. But I'm
absolutely.
just saying, and I know that there are people that haven't gotten to that space yet, but they do want to get to that space with their partner or with themselves. And
Yes.
so it's nice to know that there is that sense of confidentiality, because it's like, with the world spying on us right now, you know.
And I'm sure you'll get like a Bedroom Kandi advertisement to pop up in your phone at some point, like, and it won't be from me.
Yeah, because
Just because that's crazy.
yeah, that's definitely the way it is. What are some of your favorite products that you've that your customers like the most of? How about that?
Okay.
Most
Um,
popular products. That's the way to ask that.
all right. So there's a few. There is a massage oil trio that is a very popular seller, and that actually comes with three massage oils in different scents, $24. They're great for travel. Great for you to keep, one in your travel bag, maybe one on your nightstand, one somewhere else just in case. So that's a really popular seller because it's kind of like that intro into the line almost. Another popular one would be our lube collection. And we have so many different types of lube. So you're going to have your water based, you're going to have your silicone based, you're going to have your oil based. They all serve different purposes. Getting back to why that feedback is so important, depending on where you are in this journey, you may not know that. And I know some people are maybe listening and thinking, oh, well, that's self-explanatory. It's really not. There are a lot of people that don't understand why you don't use an oil-based lubricant when you're using a condom. There are a lot of people that don't understand why you need to use a water-based lubricant with a toy versus a silicone-based lubricant. So even though these are popular sellers, these items are very particular to what you're using them for and what you need them for. So I would definitely say if that's something that you're interested in, and because they have the warming, we have flavored, there's so many options in those. So you may be really attracted to a flavor or a scent, but that's not necessarily what you need for the avenue that you're trying to use it in. Something else that's really popular, of course, are toys and vibrators. And the popularity with this is it's very strategic. Again, thinking about where everyone is on their journey. So when you get into toys and vibrators, what you're going to have is you're going to have different lengths and different diameters. And when you're thinking about the masturbation piece, and when you're thinking about someone that may not be in a committed relationship or may not be involved with anyone, and they're selecting these toys, they're going to select toys for their pleasure. But there's a lot of customers that don't want to get the largest.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to take that avenue because that's something that they're expecting to get from an actual person and not something that they're expecting to get from a toy. Again, a very delicate conversation, because a lot of people are kind of like, well, how do you know? It is not unheard of for me to bring out my tape measure and show a visual and say, okay, so this is what you're looking at from a length perspective. And a lot of times doing that just kind of eases the comfort level. And again, it puts it into a very popular category. Another item that we have that is becoming popular, it's a newer item that we actually just introduced in the month of August. It's called hot cakes. So it is a cake scented elixir that you can put on your body on pulse points. So you could put this behind your ear, on the inner elbow, behind your kneecap is a great pulse point for you to put anything that has a scented flavor, on the inner thigh area. It is not meant to be digested. It is not meant to be used internally, but it gives off such a soft, succulent, like buttery pound cake smell. It is absolutely amazing if you're a cake person.
That is so
Um,
cool.
I know. So that, and I have it. I love it. That is rising in popularity. And then we have two bath bars that are also super popular. There's a pure bar, there's a balance bar. And with these, you're looking at bars that have things like apple cider vinegar. So it's helping to clear skin, detox the body, but it's not giving you that really, really strong scent. And with these bars, what you're going to get is your routine cleaning, just what you need. It's not going to throw off the pH balance of your body in any way whatsoever. But again, just really, really good cleaning products. They're great for you to just have on hand if you want to clean up after a session or just for your normal, showers for everyday cleansing routines. I would definitely say those are probably the highlights of some of the most popular and the favorites, of course. And then we have other things where, depending on your representation and some of the things that you may like to do, if you're one of those that like to live on edge, our suspense swing literally attaches over a door. The suspense swing gives you multiple positions, holds up to 350 pounds. And it is something that we can barely keep in stock. It is something that I usually have people that I'm like texting, like, it's in stock. We got to order quick. But it is another great addition when you're trying to add more of the tease and please, is kind of what we call it with some of those items.
The tease and please, I love it. So I have a few questions. Can you
Absolutely.
explain the difference in the lubes for the viewers and listeners?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
there's another one
Um,
before I forget, from what you said about the products, but now it slipped my mind. So yes, let's go with the lubes.
okay. So the first thing that I'm going to cover is why using lubes are important. So with intimate lubrication, this is not a matter of, okay, I can produce my own moisture. I don't need to use a lube. There are several reasons why a female may need to use a lube. Your medications can affect your moisture levels. Anyone that is premenopausal, anyone that may struggle with extreme health conditions that are related to vaginal, uterus, any of those, people that may have uterine fibroids may struggle with that as well. Your diet will even change your moisture levels, believe it or not. And then your sleep will also affect your moisture levels. So there are so many different reasons why using the lube is important beyond the fact of having that extra added support. It also goes back to a health perspective. So that is nothing for you to be ashamed of if you feel like you need to use it. People have mentioned that they may hurt during intercourse. So again, using a lube is a way for you to kind of minimize that. We are not medical professionals, so I do want to make sure that I'm clear on that. If you're experiencing extreme pain, even when using a lube, or if you have anything that is extremely uncomfortable, that's something that I definitely want to say, make sure that you're consulting with, your doctor, your gynecologist about. But if it's just one of those things where even after foreplay and you're still experiencing a slight pain, you may want to incorporate a lube into your activity. Hormonal changes. So again, depending on different times of the month, you could also experience different moisture levels, be it PMS, be it after, you could be a week after and your body still be thrown off. Your pH levels being thrown off, which again is why it's so important for you to use the correct bath and body care products, making sure that you are never actually inserting things internally, that everything is an external cleanse. And going back to that balance bar and that pure bar that I spoke to earlier, that's a reason why the focus is so important to keep pH levels balanced. Typically your pH levels run around a 4, which is equivalent to that of a glass of wine, beer, and a tomato. So if you think about the acidity levels that are needed to maintain normalcy, you may be a person that I never eat those items. It's not about eating those items. It's about everything else that's contradicting your pH level, which is why a lube may be important. Also, being dehydrated. So ladies, make sure you're drinking your water. a lack of intimacy. And I do want to share a fun fact. I written down a few fun facts from just kind of my
Oh,
orientation.
absolutely.
So money and lack of intimacy are leading reasons for divorce in North America. And when you think about lack of intimacy, and why it's so important for us to normalize this, and talking about the lube piece, if you're lacking intimacy, it's kind of like, let's just get it done and be over with. There may not be that session before a foreplay. There may not be the cuddling. There may not be the massaging. And when those things are not present, again, that starts to affect natural moisture levels, which may cause for a need to use lube also. And then even your chemical products. So your laundry detergent can throw off your pH level and then can affect your moisture level. So when I say there's an abundant amount of reasons why using a lube is important, there are an abundant amount of reasons why. So, again, just make sure that if you are using a lubricant, you're using the right type of lubricant for the type of interactions that you're going to have. And I will go over the different types of lubes that we offer and what avenue you would use those particular lubes in. Just kind of some informative pieces on the lubes that we carry. They are glycerin, paraben, and petroleum free. So if anyone has any sensitivity to those areas, you don't have to worry about it. They are all made in the USA. They are all vegan friendly, cruelty free with no animal testing. And then the flavored lubes are actually sugar free.
Ooh.
So you
For those on keto, there you go.
So, you have things, sugar can also throw off the body. So you may have something that contains sugar, like other lubes that you can buy. They may produce more yeast than normal, leading to yeast infections, and again, throwing off the lady's pH balance. People with medical conditions, believe it or not, like sugar affects those things too. So yes, they are all sugar free. And as far as the different types of lubes that we offer, so there's water-based, silicone-based, and there's oil-based. So for you to find the best lube for the job that you're trying to do, your water-based and your silicone-based lubricants are going to be best for your vaginal sex, your anal sex, and sex with condoms. Your water-based is going to be best used with your toys. You do not want to use a silicone-based lubricant for a toy that is a silicone-based toy. The silicone on silicone will actually break down the life cycle of the toy, and your toy will not last nearly as long as it will by using just a water-based lubricant. And then your oil-based lubricants, notice that was not included in any of those descriptions. So you do not, I repeat, you do not want to use an oil-based lubricant during vaginal sex, anal sex, sex with condoms, or sex with toys. Your oil-based lubricants are best suited for massages, hand jobs, and external use. You definitely don't want to use those with condoms. That's the quickest way for you to have an oops uh-oh by using an oil-based lubricant with a condom. And
I want to share a story.
I know that I do not have a story about.
No, I'm going to share a story about oil.
Okay. I will tell you from a preference, I prefer water-based. The body's water. Water is good. Water hydrates. So I definitely prefer water-based for me. I will tell you, I have delicious encounters, and it's nice. It's a very subtle scent. It's not like overpowering whatsoever. So it's not like I only have water-based, but I do like the idea of the flavor. I do like the idea of the scent, depending on what you're going to use it for. What's your story? I'm interested in hearing.
It's a little embarrassing, so I'll just put it out there. Two embarrassing stories, actually, since now that I'm thinking about it and I'm just putting it out there. So one, it's not related, but it's kind of related. So Nair, like, let me just tell you about my lack of education as a younger woman around this whole body part subject, okay? So I was getting ready to, like, I think this is my first year of marriage. Okay. And I put Nair everywhere. And like Brazilian myself, right?
Okay.
With the
Okay.
Nair. And I'm telling you, like, my butt hurt so bad, burned so bad. It was so bad. So this is and I say that because it was along these lines. So one night, me and my husband were having fun and being cheap, and we're like, oh yeah, let's use baby oil.
I can only imagine.
It hurt. Like, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you don't use oils. I had to learn that the hard way. So there you go. And okay.
So, and I have to show you. So I actually have some things out of my kit. So this is the Delicious Encounters. It's tangerine peach, and this is actually a 4.2 ounce. So that is the look of that. Again, like great. A little goes a long way if you can kind of see the consistency as
Yeah.
I take the bottle. It is not extremely like thick, but it's not extremely runny. So just a great consistency for it. But this is one of those things where when you think about having fun and then incorporating a need, again, lubricants help with a need, but they can also be fun. They don't just have to be a boring, I can't smell this or I can't taste this type product. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that. I remembered what my other question was,
Okay.
and then I just forgot it. I'm such a ditz. I it was about because okay, you talked about the lubes first, and then you went into another product. Oh, okay, I remember. It's the different forms of masturbation are not so much masturbation, but how women are pleased. Most women, a lot of women can't get an orgasm from intercourse. It's
Right.
usually from the clit. And I would like to talk more about that because also when choosing your toy, you know, it's kind of important to get to know yourself first before you choose something like
Right.
this for yourself.
So there's actually over 8,000 nerves that can be stimulated from clit stimulation. And most women, and I have a fun fact about this. I'm glad you asked that question. I'm ready for you. So, on average, it takes men 4 minutes to reach an orgasm. It takes women anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes to reach an orgasm. So, when we talk about sexual encounters with our partners and the fact that foreplay can be very hit or miss, it's kind of important for it to be a hit. And if you're not going to be using like lubes and everything for foreplay, then you may want to invite toys in so you get to a place of stimulation where you can meet your partner right in the middle. So there is not like a, well, you got yours, I didn't get mine type situation.
Yeah.
So, and this is exactly the reality that we have to be aware of is the
Mm-hmm.
fact that there's different stimulation pieces for both the male and the female. So I actually have something that I would like to present to you for clitoral stimulation. This is actually called the Cuddle. And this is how it looks in the unboxing. So it gives you a really, really cute little satin discreet case for you to hold it in. And this is charged via USB. So you also have your USB cord in here as well. So you can save money on batteries. Okay. So has a nice little curved design. You have your power buttons here. So you're just going to hold this for about 3 to 4 seconds to turn it on. And literally the vibration with just turning on regular speed is like crazy intense. But then you can also increase your vibration. But this is something that you can introduce into your foreplay or into your pre-session with your partner. Vibration stimulation in the clitoral area, hands down, it gets you where you need to be in life. Okay.
That is so cool. That is so
I
cool.
and
I'll drop a
I'm
link for that.
like, I don't know if you hear.
I can.
Okay, but and again, I did turn it up one speed. But yes, so when we talk about different ways of stimulating and different ways of actually incorporating toys, don't look at a toy and say, oh, that's just a dildo. There are toys that will help you get to a level of satisfaction that you need to be with. They don't have to be huge at all. And then when you put this into your little discreet bag, no one knows what it is
Yeah,
because
that's
it's,
mascara. That's
yeah,
that's some
it's,
makeup.
it's here and hid. But that was called, again, the Cuddle. It is silicone based. So this has 7 captivating vibration patterns. It's rechargeable. This gives you up to 2 hours of use. So whatever you got going on, you can get 2 hours worth out of this. It is going to be a G-spot centric design. So that curvature that you're seeing is meant for it to be able to be held and just put in that spot for stimulation. And then it also is whisper quiet. So if you notice, you couldn't really hear it when I held it in my hand, but as soon as I put it up against my cup, you could hear it. So it is very quiet in case you're ever like on a couples trip, or say you have someone, you know, staying over at your home, family or something's there for the holidays and you still need to get it in, they won't hear you. And
I love that. You still got to take care of you.
exactly. 1 year manufacturer warranty on this product as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. So how did you get into this? This is so interesting.
So this is a funny story. I used to be a huge Housewives of Atlanta fan, and when Kandi introduced this many years ago, I loved her, but I wasn't educated on any of this. This was not something that I was like, oh, I want to order some stuff. And so as I continued to watch the show, and like every now and then there would be a little pitch that she'd throw in there, and I'm like, okay, I'm listening. I'm getting older. I'm maturing in my sexual mindset.
Yeah.
Um, my husband and I, we actually live in Panama City Beach. So we were bored, didn't have anything to do. So we
You're
went
there
out to,
now?
I'm here now. Yeah, hey.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't been
I'm
away.
so concerned about Sally.
I,
So
I,
I know it's not like it's past, like, but still, like we
yeah.
dealt with Michael, so you know I care.
Exactly. So, you know, the fear of having to hide out in a closet, because that was us until about 3 o'clock this morning. So I've had like literally about 2.5, 3 hours of sleep before work today.
And you
Um,
look so good, and you are so educated on your topics.
so yeah, last night was rough. Today's been a lot better. There's a little bit of wind going on right now, but the rain has calmed down, but the flooding is out of control in certain areas. So I'm sure we won't be out at all for the rest of this week. Schools canceled, a lot of things happening. So we're just staying in, staying safe, making the most out of it. And I would say most people may be kind of on the end of quarantine, but this is another reason why Bedroom Kandi is so important, because when you're stuck in the house and you need some excitement,
Yeah.
Bedroom Kandi. So we were extremely bored, and we go on Front Beach Road. We're gonna just take a little joyride, and we decided to go in Condom Knowledge. And it's an adult store. We go in, and first of all, it's packed, and I don't mean packed with like teeny boppers that's in there like laughing and giggling and being immature. I mean like grown couples, like some of them probably look like they were my grandparents' age, people that were our age. It was all walks of life. There, it was so much diversity in that building that night. I was like, look at this. So I am looking at product, and I'm seeing a lot of like empty spots where like products not available. And then I'm seeing things that are in these like 2 times thick plastic packages, and you're kind of like looking and you're trying to figure it out. And then there were the workers there. And if anybody's listening that works there, no, nothing personal, but no one was out walking around on the floor. Do you need any help? Do you have any questions? It was a very, if you're coming in here, you probably know what you're looking for. I'm going to check you out. They were, amazing during the checkout experience. Like, hey, thanks for shopping with us. Have a great night. But the education part was missing. And I'm sure from meeting me in my previous career at Sephora, like when I'm passionate about something, like I live it, I eat it, I sleep it, I breathe it. And so for me, I thought that there was just a huge disconnect with such an intimate level of product that you weren't really getting product knowledge in the moment. And these aren't products that you're going in a store and you're buying and you're saying, oh, I just tried this out last night. I didn't like it. Can I get a full refund? That's not how this works. This is you buy it, you're stuck with it. It was like a light bulb went off. Um, this is a really, really interesting market to be a part of. And if it's something that you can use to educate people and something that you can use to help people satisfy sexual desire at the same time, it's kind of like a win-win. So it wasn't like I had 1,000 products of Bedroom Kandi before I signed up to become an independent consultant. It was me being in an environment in which I realized that there was very little education. There were even things in there that I was kind of like, now, how does this work again? I've never seen this before. And it just kind of sparked an interest. And so I decided that I was going to reach out to someone that I knew that has been a consultant for about 7 years now. She's actually my team lead. She's amazing at what she does. And so for me, it was reaching out to her first and just asking all of those questions. Why do you do what you do? Why do you enjoy it? What is the training like? What is orientation like? Is there any type of social responsibility of giving back? Like, what is it that attracts you to do this? And so after talking with her, I thought about it for a couple of weeks, and here I am now, enjoying it, loving the education piece, and just really finding passion in so many areas outside of this. One of the things that I will say is we are the only adult line that allows males to participate in terms of being a consultant. So there is a male that's actually a part of our team, and he is absolutely amazing at what he does. We openly support the LGBTQ community. We want to make sure that it's about diversity. And again, for me to be passionate about something and for me to have a complete awareness and understanding that there's a miss in the education piece, I think there is also a miss sometimes in diversity. And so I just looked at it as an opportunity for me to become a part of a market where people need to see a me before they see a toy, before they see a lube. They need to see someone who's going to be very open, honest, and aware of the level of education that takes place in this type of market, and to make sure that it's not being done wrong. Because what I'm not doing is going out and promoting 12 and 13-year-olds to lubes and sex toys and things like that. It's not my place to judge anyone else's level of intimacy that they're having with their partner. It's my place to represent Bedroom Kandi as a partner to say, okay, this is the quality product that we make. This is how it benefits you and your interactions with your partner. And what can I do to heighten the experiences that you're having?
I love that. I love all of that. And what are some of the things like you've experienced now, or like what's one of the biggest things you've learned since you've started on this journey?
So I have two. One of the biggest things that I've learned is people are extremely out of touch with sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
And while I learned it, it was also kind of sad to think that you have people that are married, no kids, 3, 4 kids, like just so out of touch. And not out of touch from a point of not wanting to know, but out of touch from there being a lack of an outlet. I've probably never been in a city that I've truly explored in which I haven't seen an adult store, but I can guarantee you that the experience is probably the same. So a lot of times it's not that we don't want to introduce things. It's not that we don't want to have fun or we don't want to heighten levels of satisfaction. A lot of times is we don't know where to begin, or we think that we're going to go all out and we're going to do it all in one encounter, and then that's going to be the end of it. And it's almost like a baby step piece. So I was very, very surprised with the lack of information on individuals knowing their own sexuality and kind of what they need and what they desire. The other thing that probably surprised me the most was how professional products like this really are, because I think that they have just kind of such a bad name. Packaging, I have other items out, and literally the packaging is
Oh,
it's
it's so
so
important.
it is so important. This is the hotcakes that I was telling you about. I mean, and you're not just looking at something that's just been thrown in a container.
Mm-mm.
Like, you look at it and it is very clean, it is very professional. It doesn't look trashy. It doesn't give you that stereotype of what sex toys and what lubes and what soft line products typically bring. And I can't say that I wasn't expecting there to be a professional piece behind this, but I was very impressed by just the level of everything that's professional, even from a training perspective. We're not just sitting here and sharing ideas. We have doctors on our panels. We have gynecologists on our panels. We have people that we do fireside chats with. We do, calls to help you build your business and help you build your brand. And there's usually someone that has some type of expertise or some type of education behind what they do that's helping us along the way. So it's not like just another training or just another speaker, oh, this is so and so. No, this is Dr. So and so, this is OBGYN, this is this person, this is that person. So I've been really, really grateful for the training experience and the amount of information that's out there. We even sell books on our website. So there are actual sex books that you can incorporate into you and your partner's routines, with you guys reading books together and figuring things out. So yeah, those would definitely be my two.
I can imagine that's, and I will say it's very polished look, but it's also, when you say it's not trashy, no, it's definitely the brand itself, like from what I've seen with the packaging and everything, it's a feminine look almost. It's
Yeah.
a good mix of masculinity and femininity and class to these adult products. And I wouldn't know that was what it was unless I opened it and like read the label,
Yes. So one thing, I spoke to Candy Coated, which is our cosmetics line. So when we go to packaging, this is the new lipstick that came out in August. And literally, this is like, it's gorgeous. First of all, it is such a beautiful color. Can you see?
Yes.
Such a beautiful color, but I was blown away with the packaging. So, of course, my background from a cosmetic industry, I am a little bit more like, what does that look like? Yeah, what's that packaging like? But I just thought that this was absolutely amazing. By the way, this color is fierce. So if anyone is interested in that, that's the color. But it's hashtag I am fierce. And then when you turn, it says brave, candy coated for the brand, and resilient. And you think about like a woman in a pair of stilettos and a red lipstick, like she's taking care of business. And you think of something like this, and I'm putting on lipstick, and you may be having a feeling, and brave is what you hit, and you're like, you know what, I am brave. So there is, with that piece of it, the feminine part of it that just makes you feel like such a lady, that gives you that extra power, that extra boost of emotion when you're using it. It's all about packaging. It's definitely a huge, huge win. So yeah, that's that.
I thank you so much for sharing all of these products. I have her links in the description below for her website, for her Instagram, and the link to the group, but you have to request an invite, correct? You have to, it's a private group. So you're going to have to request. So yeah, no, I think, is there anything else you wanted to share?
So there is actually something else that I wanted to share. I talked about all of the different products, and we spent more time on some products than we did others, but I think that you have been such a huge piece of this, because we've had a few conversations just kind of about the passion behind this. So thank you for utilizing your platform to help educate others and help share in other people's um, their need to be told correctly and what's really important. Yeah, and pull someone's name. And the other really important reason to follow the social media sites, I do a lot of things. So my birthday was the 10th, last Thursday, and so I actually am doing, in honor of chapter 35, a basically a gift with purchase. So anyone who places an order over $100, until the end of the month, I'm going to grant them a $35 product credit that they can use on anything they want to. It's up to a $35 value. So little things like that I just try to do. There may be things that someone's interested in and they're kind of like, yeah, I think I got enough in my shopping cart. I don't need to add anything else. So I always like to do little extra things, but I definitely want to do the drawing for your listeners. And just to encourage anyone, like, I am here if you want to, reach out in some of those DM options. If you want to text, if you want to email with any questions, please do, but have conversations with your partner. Be open, be upfront, be transparent. There's a huge fight right now in all communities for marriages to work and for relationships to work, and for us to have a different sense of communication in our relationships. So regardless of how you identify, regardless of what your relationship status is, if you are involved with anyone, please, please, please make sure that you're having these conversations and you're not expecting people to read your mind. You're not expecting people to know what your desires and your fantasies are. That you're having those conversations. And then when you are trying to experiment or you're trying to add things, use an outlet. I am your Bedroom Kandi consultant. I am here to answer questions. I am here to make suggestions, and even put things together. Holidays, birthdays, if you're just saying, hey, I want to spend X amount of dollars and I want a basket, I got you. We can put it together. We can make it happen. So any questions, I'm here for everyone.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. Derek, that's extremely helpful. I've learned some things. I learned about the differences of lubes. I know not to use oil, but the silicone thing with the silicone part makes total sense. And I really appreciate that extra knowledge. So yeah, no, thank you so much. And for the viewers of Life Hacks with Liv, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're doing, because like this was like an hour long and you're like wasting your time if you're not subscribed.
You can listen to this while you're driving. Most of my podcasts I listen to like while I'm driving. I may listen to them like while I'm in the shower. If I'm just not doing anything and trying to unwind, I'll put my headphones in while I'm laying in bed. So it's nothing to subscribe. You need to subscribe because you are missing out.
Yes. I do the same thing too. I listen to podcasts and stuff like that all the time. But anyway, thank you so much, Toya, for coming on. It was a pleasure having you.